Warning, do not try this at home. The following acts in the clips are performed by specially trained Danish Counter-Strike children of 100 and trained by a long boy on crack. The acts in the video take a long time to practice with key coordination, and I'm legally not obligated to take on any lawsuits outside the video. Enjoy. Heroic lost the finals to Outsiders in the major finals, but throughout this year, and this game especially, I've noticed Heroic as one of the most proactive and aggressive CT sides out of any team, apart from probably Furia. They consistently push into areas either at the start of the round to disrupt the team's game plan, or during the mid round where they lost map control on one part of the map, or a lot of presence has been made. Heya I'm Smirky, and today we're going to take a look at the Mirage game against Outsiders, and a quick peek at the game against Fnatic, and how Heroic showed aggressiveness while being proactive on their CT side, so let's begin. Heroic has a lot of unique variations on how they want to be aggressive, but this 2-man ramp is one of the most common plays I've seen. Either Heroic will use this to fully push into ramp and hunt for a kill, or get into a setup. But in this round they're going to get into a setup. So they will peek behind the Molotov together, ready to kill players behind it. They'll slowly clear their angles, and once Shush gets comfy, they will create this setup where he will sit on top of the Viz, and Yabby will have an angle on Palace the teams won't be expecting. I will say Shush is a bit more predictable and easy to clear with a pop flash, but he is on the handle, so their crosshair may be a bit off, giving Shush the advantage. When Outsiders creates presence on B, Shush will be proactive and clear ramp, confirming it's not a fake. Another setup that was run by them was this one, where they will do similar clears by making sure they don't overlook something, and once they feel happy, Tessus will be left into this corner, while Shush jiggles back and forth, making himself difficult bait to hit. This setup doesn't last long though, as Fnatic have taken mid control, and Heroic don't like it when someone takes their map control away. As a response, they will push into ramp in reaction to Fnatic taking mid, and leave Tessus in this close off-ish angle, and works a treat, as when Fascia arrives, his head just gets drilled in by Tessus, and he will later fall off with the man advantage. Great setup, great reaction, perfect outcome. But Heroic wants more.
I want more.
Likely Yabby had the info that there was one mid and thought Fnatic was going to try and retake A control. As a result, he tightens the grip by clearing apps and under, really limiting where Fnatic could be. And if all of a sudden he did die, you had KD on B as a backup plan, hiding behind bench, watching short. On Mirage, it's very common to see early random pushes from Heroic, especially on A when Shush loves to do it. In this round, he's going to do it solo at the start of the round. He will silently push down, hugging the left side of the wall before clearing the edges. Now, you are taking a risk in doing this, however typically on a Mirage default, the T side is spread in a 1v1, leaving only one player to hold A. And from what I've seen, most lurkers tend to go towards Palace at the start of the round, giving you a slight chance to slip by to do something like this. But you do need to be aware, as the A player can also start at ramp at the start of the round. Later in this round, Outsiders are forced to send 2 players back to A to retake map control, with only 40 seconds left. But Shush has already fallen off back to A to play the man advantage, where they later win the round. We've seen a few glimpses of this already, however Shush will push A if Heroic needs information, they're a man down, or need control. In round 12, Fnatic has taken mid control and will create a fake on A. Shush, understanding the outcome that can occur without action, makes a play to push ramp after no one comes out, and he also hears Nikidos running away. This results in him getting the kill, and later falling back to CT to not get traded or overwhelmed. On mid, we're going to see more aggression, but on coke. Compared to A, which was slow, methodical, and can be used at the start or during the mid round, these mid takes from Heroic were loud, overwhelming, and unique, as they never use the same take twice in a game. Either the gents will go full in, peek for fights and maybe fall off, or they'll peek into mid, slowly push in, and create themselves a really strong setup. In round 8 against Outsiders, Heroic are going to send 2 con, 1 window, 2 short. The playing window is Cadian, and he's going to molly the boxes and play A, since he smoked off. On short, Yabi will flash up on mid, Testers will Molotov under and peek out. Meanwhile in connector, they threw their default util with an extra flash from Starn and a connector smoke that lands on the far right side of Con's stairs. Both short and Con will swing out together and just frag out. Outsiders struggle to contest mid in this round, as the molly and boxes force them out into the open. The molly under prevents any trades from coming in, meaning when outsiders swing out mid, outsiders are being attacked from the left and right side with flashes, which is just disorienting.
Oh, you're dragging it on, mate. Sit down and shut the fuck up.
This round is one of my personal favourites as it's so fun to watch. In round 9, we're going to see Cadian go for a quick peek using the smoke. This smoke will help take a pop shot into Flit.
That's quite big.
Helps him leave later and will be used for nade stacks. Now this is where the fun begins. At this point we see a similar setup in a 2-1-2 where Cadian, who fell back to Karn, will use his nade with Starn onto the boxes behind the smoke. The short plays will peek out, not being open to top mid and throw their HEs before falling to B, not to leave any gaps. And all of this together puts Flit sky high. For this round, I don't think Cadian's peek is mandatory, since you can get the comp player to do the same smoke, but you can use the peek if you want to add some extra flavour. There would have been more supportive util from Shush, but well, he gets blocked and fumbles it. And what we saw at the start of the video with the ramp control will be used in this round, as Heroic takes some loss after the mid fights. Not wanting to get sandwiched and have a chance in this round, Shush pushes ramp and checks it. However, he later gets checked by Kickit. Not only just against outsiders, but in general, these guys push mid so much, with each game having a unique variation to the last. It will take forever going through each special take from Heroic, so before I age like Palpatine or King T, I'll move on. Now let's take a look at some mid setups. Heroic will transition into these setups either when they slowly peek out of mid, or they just fully take in mid control and want to keep it. Round 8. We're going to see a very creative con focused setup. Outsiders have done their default mid smokes, and Heroic will use it to assist in their tick. I'm not going to go in detail on why outsiders are not going to go out with their top mid smokes, as I gave a nice overview of how teams typically play default T-Star Mirage in this Tabson video at this timestamp. But with outsiders waiting far back, Yabi will throw a molly behind the top mid boxes, forcing anyone into his or Cadian's crosshair while Starn watches mid. At this point, it turns into a strong setup. Starn watching under, Yabi playing anti, but Cadian watching Yabi's back. Taking mid control away from the T side really limits their options, and forces them to invest more resources into taking it. But unfortunately, Heroic won't hit their initial shots, causing the setup to shatter. Against Fnatic, Heroic had a confusing setup for the Ts. In round 6, they'll go out for some mid peaks, and Fnatic won't contest. As a result, they're able to position themselves into this setup. Shush will watch top mid with Starn and position himself near the sign, so when the Ts peek out, they have to fight him and Yabi. Meanwhile, Starn will watch under and peek out when his team gets contact. This setup will have its moment, as when Roy peeks out, he loses the fight to Yabi, who just glazed the smoke. But later in the round, they leave 2 in mid and send Yabi to A just in case Fnatic try to go into an execute. However, Crims is going to be very diligent with his clears and kill Starn, breaking the setup. This style of play is really effective against teams who are not as experienced as you on the map or in a certain environment like LAN. And it's also great against teams where they're quite strat heavy, since that team can't do what they're aiming to do. going to do a bit of theory crafting here, but it seems like their reactions are based off map control and player numbers. So if Heroic lose mid, you'll see Shush push into ramp or palace. And if there is a lot going on at mid and A, you may see Tessus or Yabi push apps. These guys with their constant mid harassment are the definition of playing their own game, and forces the enemy team to adapt to them and take them off their game plan. A team like Outsiders are generally best suited with a slow playstyle to tackle an aggressive CT side, hence why it was competitive on the first half. Yet compared to Fnatic, where they tried to play their own game, they got ruined. Apart from that, hope you enjoyed the video. Do you want to split onto a site where the CT side has nothing left? Well, if you do, check out the video in the description about the strat breakdown I did about Na'Vi's A split. Apart from that, thanks for watching, see you in a bit.